In this corner, we have the voice actor himself, the hyperactive, hyper voice acting!
Hi?
And in this corner, we have the asshole who owns this channel, JamesmanXtreme!
Yeah, I'm not used to that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Punch-Out, the Wii version.
One of my favorite games of all time.
The only one that matters, personally speaking. But if you've ever played the original NES, then good for you.
Yeah.
But with that said, yes, welcome to Punch-Out, and yeah, it's that one game starring that one boxer that got to be an assist trophy, followed by a playability in Smash Brothers.
Yep.
Yeah. This is actually one of my favorite games of all time.
For reasons we're about to get into, just as soon as we hit the OK with our own hand.
Yeah. And the very first Punch-Out is actually my favorite NES game.
That's so.
I wouldn't say it's my all-time favorite. I wouldn't say it's an immediate favorite for me, but that being said, I really do love this reimagining. Like, it just feels like that step up that the other Punch-Out games were gloriously missing.
Yep.
But yes, there's only one opponent we can fight right now, and his name is Glass Joe. Not exactly the best amongst the boxing community. As a matter of fact, he only won once.
Yep.
Out of all 99 matches he's ever, or 100 matches he's ever done, he actually only had one KO to his name.
By the way, wait. Let's wait. I am French! Can you tell that I'm French? I'm French! French!
Oui, oui.
Bonjour! Bonjour!
One thing I love is that they actually got actors to voice these characters in their original languages.
Yeah, right. That's actually one thing I really do love about this game. The fact that, I mean, it's goofy as all fuck, and they do go for the freaking stereotypes like nothing else.
Wait, do you do it? You!
I honestly forgot about it.
God.
Wait, where are you leaning to anyway?
So just saying, Way forgot is when Glass Joe does that, like he steps back and flips his hair and says something. If you, when the second he comes back, if you do a body punch, you immediately knock him out.
Yeah, it's a straight up TKO.
So, yes, since we're talking about that, we should probably go over the mechanics of this variation of Punch-Out for those that don't have the honor of playing this.
Yes.
Alright, well, Matt, you go ahead.
A is punch right, B is punch left, and then you press up to do a face punch, and you press you press down on the D-pad to block. And and when you fill up those stars, you press start to do a super punch.
Well, it's probably going to disappoint Matt knowing that I actually don't use that control scheme when playing the Wii version. I use the waggle.
Yeah, and then there's this new scheme which, if you played ARMS, you pretty much played this game.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. Though to be honest, it's not quite as technical as ARMS is. This one's a little more simplistic.
Gotcha.
TKO!
Well, that was easy.
Also, we kind of glanced over it, and I know it's probably not the best time to say this considering what pitiful boss we were going up against, but during each of the intermissions... Oh, hey, Doc.
Hey, Doc Lewis.
Alive!
Honestly, my favorite character in the entire game.
He's the favorite character to everybody.
Yeah, he's just so likable.
Yeah, he's great.
Except for Aaron Ryan, but we'll talk about him later.
Might as well talk about him now because I don't show him off in the look at.
I think he only shows off the minor circuit.
Yeah, I know. Let's.
Well, that and a little bit of the major circuit. But anyway, here's our next opponent. Well, actually, let's look at our shamed opponent there and go into the next one, straight from Germany, Von Kaiser.
What were you talking about, by the way, Steve?
Oh, basically, what a little mechanic that they introduced is like during each of the match intermissions, you know, when the referee's like going 1, 2, 3. If you I think it's different with every scheme, but I'm going to assume with one of them it's just waggling. You could do a motion where it's like Lil Joe would like do a little taunt, and it slowly replenishes whatever health you lost.
Yep.
Yep. Also, the referee in the original is Mario.
Was a Mario! Woohoo! Unfortunately, I'm not here for this remake. Though, to be honest, my appearance in the original was technically illegal.
Oh, don't worry, we
Yeah.
do get to see another Nintendo character here, but actually, technically, we were originally going to have 2 Nintendo characters. Originally, this game was going to have the option to, I don't know if it was to play as or to beat up Princess Peach from the series. However, Nintendo kind of pulled the plug on that because they were afraid of taking off all the feminists.
Actually, it wasn't Princess Peach's Samus, I believe.
No, it was Peach.
Was it?
Yeah.
I always heard it was Peach. I never heard anything about Samus, though that would make more sense.
But yeah, one thing about this series that I just love is it's so simple but so lovable.
1, 2,
Yep.
3.
You can definitely
It's so
tell that-
lovable, and there's a lot of tech to it. So it also goes to show that these are probably some of the worst boxers of all time.
Yeah.
They're so goddamn telegraphed.
Yeah, until you get to later, in which case they can actually get fairly hard.
Yeah. Especially,
Need we not forget the Sandman?
and that's especially so when you go into title defense, which that's also something that this game has. Once you beat all of the boxers in regular mode, you unlock pretty much title defense mode, where you pretty much go up against all the boxers again, only they have certain stipulations. Like with Glass Joe, when you face him again, he actually has headgear, which kind of increases his defense, unless you do a certain trick shot where the helmet just kind of flies off and you can just beat him up as usual.
And he's down!
By the way, with all the boxers, if you TKO them with the Star Punch, they do a special animation.
Yeah, that's fun. That's always fun.
Right.
Also, going back to the title defense thing, raise of hands, who actually lost to Glass Joe the first time?
Me, never. I've
Really?
never lost to Glass Joe.
I actually did lose to him in the title defense because, again, I wasn't used to the fact that he actually has protective headgear now, and it's like, how do I get this off of him?
I'm going to say no, only because I never played the game. I've been meaning to, I just been forgetting for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys want to play it for yourselves, it is available on the Wii U Virtual Console, so there's that option.
By the way, behold, the only new character for this game.
Disco Kid.
All the other characters were from previous Punch-Out games, but this is the only one that is made for this game.
And boy, does it show, especially once you actually find him in title defense.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, in Tile Defense, he's actually not all that tougher.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Though apparently he's so successful, he's actually made a really good living for himself, though I'm pretty sure that's just for his dancing career. Boxing, on the other hand, is a different story.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Ready for this?
Oh boy.
Kid.
I'm gonna offer you guys a challenge if you ever decide to play the game for yourselves. Try not to laugh at his title defense match.
That is impossible.
You will fail that challenge.
Trust me, you're bound to fail.
But, am I the only one that feels like he sounds like Carrie Payton?
I don't know.
I can kind
I have
of
no
hear
idea
it.
what it...
He's the guy that voices Cyborg.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can sort of hear it, though.
Like, I know it's not the actual. I know that's not actually him, but I can hear where Matt's coming from.
Yeah.
Do.
Oh, God! I just love the expressions that they have when you're about to
Yeah.
land a star punch on them.
So anyway, I'm going to go back to talking about my absolute favorite character in the game, Aaron Ryan.
Long story short, he's an asshole to the nth degree.
He is an asshole. He is an
From
asshole,
Ireland.
but you can't not love him.
He's hilarious.
Well,
In
you
fact,
can't
one of
love
my favorite things about him that he does, I think it's in Tile Defense, where it has like the intermissions. You know, again from the original game, you have like intermissions where it's like you have Doc Lewis like pep talking you on the one hand, and you see the opponent in the other. In Aaron Ryan's intermission during Tile Defense, the audience would just throw like random garbage at him, and he'll just turn around and start cursing him out.
Yep. And also, Aaron Ryan is the biggest cheater in boxing history, and yet he's still somehow in the major circuit.
Well, I guess there's no rule in the book that says you can't use freaking horseshoes on your gloves.
That is actually what he does in title defense.
No, it's more than just that. It's the fact that he does a headbutt, which is very illegal in boxing. I love boxing, people. And I know many different things about boxing. The Rocky movies are some of my favorite movies of all time, including Creed. I thought that was an amazing film.
I didn't know he actually said that in these.
Yep, if you know about boxing, you know that anything other than your fists is illegal. To the point where it can actually get you kicked out of boxing forever.
Yeah, I can imagine so. But with that said, we're probably going to have to bend the rules a bit with our last opponent for the minor circuit, King Hippo. In the original game, he was actually part of the major circuit, but here he actually got demoted, just so you could face him earlier.
Also, in before anyone does the Captain and reference.
Hi, my name's King Hippo.
I wonder with his eyes, is he an inkling?
Oh, God. Well, he does kind of look like he has the eyes of one, but...
Yeah.
To be fair, I always got him more like he's more like a Donkey Kong type of figure. But then again, that was like back then before Platoon was even a thing.
Also, let us point out the fact that Donkey Kong is in this game. So.
Oh yes, he is. He's actually a secret fighter you can fight in the final mode in this game, not Max Last Stand. But I think he's a
random encounter.
Right. So yes, now we have King Hippo, and he's pretty simple.
Basically, what you have to do is you have to wait till you punch him so that his boxers fall off, and that's when you get to go to town with him.
Yeah, when he opens his mouth mainly to do his downward jab, then yeah.
So yeah,
also I think he's probably the only. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
Oh no, I was just going to talk a bit about the developer, but I think I'll let you get your piece out first.
Oh yeah, I'll go ahead. It's pretty brief. But I think King Hippo's the only boxer in this game that who pretty much gets TKO'd like the very first round.
Yep. If you beat him the very first round, then he is down for the count.
Right. Like there's no additional rounds with him. He doesn't get knocked out or anything like that. It's a straight up TKO because look at this guy.
But yeah, basically, just to go back to the developers, something that's really interesting about this particular game, this was developed by Next Level Games, who we've talked about quite a bit in previous videos. The first games that they've done are like the Mario Strikers game.
What?
Oh, hang on, I'll wait till this goes out first.
Oh.
Hey kid, King Hippo loves to eat. Why don't we give him a knuckle sandwich?
Nice. I think my favorite of those...
Knuckles.
That was terrible, but...
Ooh,
God damn it,
bar.
I love puns.
Oh, the chocolate bar is actually kind of significant. If you actually... I forget what stipulates it, but if you do a certain thing on that screen and you see Doc Lucy the chocolate bar, it automatically refills a good chunk of your health.
Yep.
Also,
I think you gotta press the. I think it's either the plus or minus button that instigates it.
Also, a long time ago, if you were part of Club Nintendo, you could get a bonus, a DLC with this game where you get to fight Doc Lewis yourself.
Whoop.
Yep.
And it's really kind of funny, especially when you enter his, for lack of a better word, pinch mode, where it's like, every now and then he'll pull out a bar of chocolate and you need to refill his health. If you punch the chocolate out of him, he'll rip off his sweatshirt to reveal this leopard-plaid shirt underneath it, and he becomes a much harder opponent.
Yeah, they even give the kids at home a very strict warning about them not being responsible for the pummeling you're about to get from loss of chocolate.
Also, please note that this guy used to be a huge, a huge fighter. So.
Oh yeah, he used to be a big name, but he's long since retired.
So yeah, this is like Creed, except the races are backwards.
Pretty much.
By the way, people, go watch Creed. It is amazing.
Now that we got rid of all these guys, time to train for the next circuit.
Hey, great work, Mac. Now let's take down the next circuit.
Munch on that chocolate bar for what it's worth.
Yeah, every time you go between different circuits, you always get different montages of different ways Max trained for each circuit, whether it be like just, oh, and you even get this little nice reference.
Yep.
Yeah. Makes sense, considering that was technically what you get when you were going to the next circuit anyway.
And it's kind of funny, like, that scene actually does change the more times you see it throughout the game. Like, sometimes it'll be at night, sometimes it'll be, like, raining and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. By the way,
So, yeah,
that's Bear
welcome to
Hugger, I
Don
forgot.
Flamingo and White Tiger. Great Tiger.
Great Tiger.
And, yeah, Great Tiger, thank you. And now we got Piston Hondo.
Yeah, they couldn't use Honda because Honda was going to sue them.
Yeah, that actually is another thing we should say about the Wii version. Some of the characters actually have their names altered. Like, probably the biggest example is in the Wii version, Soda Popinski. What was his name in the original again?
Vodka Drunkinski.
But just to let you know, it was Soda Popinski in the NES version as well. It was the arcade version that he is Vodka Drunkinski.
Okay.
Because go figure, he was Russian. Now for our last match for the video, we are up against Piston Hondo, and yeah, we're in the major circuit now. Wow, that's disrespectful. You punch him while he's bowing, and you get a star point.
Yeah, well, to be fair, this game was not developed by Japanese, so...
No, it was actually developed by Canadians. But to be fair, they had fun, because honestly, the bear hugger is about as big of a Canadian stereotype as you can get, and they were all for it.
Oh, yeah.
And that actually was something I was about to talk about earlier. We've talked about them quite a bit before, Next Level Games. They have actually made quite a few games that they covered. One of them being the Mario Strikers games, which James already said his Devil Dame piece about those Devil Dame games. Devil Dame it, no one's going to change his Devil Dame mind. I think he's trying to tell us something.
All I was saying is that I'm indifferent to them. I didn't say I hated them.
I know, but I was just referencing something else. The other game that they made
fair.
is Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for the 3DS.
Yeah,
Which is a very good game.
Yeah, it has its moments. Like Luigi himself.
Luigi, and to a certain extent...
How are you bad at dodging those? I could dodge every single one.
Because I forgot I was supposed to block.
Yeah. Oh, you think that's bad? Wait till you get to the tile defense version of this. Like, this guy takes quite a bit of a speed intake. Like, he's able to run faster than a Devil Dame locomotive, or whatever the Asian equivalent of it is called.
Yeah, I remember that being a big pain in the ass. In fact, I think I remember back when I used to play this game a lot of the tile defense. The one I always got stuck on was Great Tiger.
Yeah, Great Tiger's a hard one. I hear a lot of people say that Soda Popinski is probably the biggest difficulty spike in tile defense.
Oh, I can imagine so. Oh wait, I think I may have done that one too, but it's been a while.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like some characters are incredibly easy to beat, some characters are not. Like, I will say, despite how much I love Aaron Ryan, he is so piss easy to beat.
I can imagine so once you can tell all the tells. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our look at on Punch-Out for the Wii. Again, you can get on the Wii U Virtual Console if you so choose, or if you don't really want to do that and you have a Wii, there's that option too. With that said, I'm JamesmanXtreme.
I'm Rai J. Koopa, aka Matazella, aka the announcer of this round!
And I am fabulous.
Oh, god damn it. By the way, Nintendo, please port this to the Switch. That'd be great. Till next time, guys.
That would be great. Fare thee well.
TKO!